Hello and welcome to another jungle video and a return to our top junglers video series, but with a very small twist. We will look at some of the best junglers in solo queue at the moment and let you know which ranked ranges they are most effective at, and then we're going to look at a specific low elo list and a specific high elo list so that all MMRs are covered in this video should you be looking for something new to play. And on that note, of course, remember it's not a cut and dry tier list, just a collection of the best junglers you can play for your specific ranked range or simply your own enjoyment. And the question for this video is to comment below your most played jungler this season and also who you would like to pick up to add to your jungle rotation. And our partner for this video once again has a quick message.
Have you ever felt like you were doing immense damage, that you had found the next OP build, only to realize that your autos are like throwing wet tissue paper at the wall, and then you have to flee like the coward you are? Prevent this disaster by heading to u.gg, searching a champion, and not only having access to the builds and rune page, but also having access to detailed breakdowns of rune combinations that you can use to find the best win rate rune set to suit your playstyle. All of this alongside the detailed item breakdown page so that you can choose your own path to success. For all of your champions built in runes in 30 seconds or less, head to u.gg.
And on that note, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Hecarim top tier, Jarvan top tier. A lot of people are sleeping on Hecarim, I don't know why. High play rate, good win rate across pretty much every MMR. Still used by the top tier junglers in Challenger, so if you are looking for a relatively easy champion to pick up, something that can ruffle stomp your lanes, you need to rotate fast somewhere, and let's be honest, the amount of times your bot lane ends, you do need to rotate fast somewhere. League of Legends' very own Ferrari, Hecarim, and he's followed by Jarvan with shifts around, nerfs, buffs, items, things like that. He is come back because guess what? His previous nerfs weren't really that strong. Again, works in pretty much any MMR range. Early effectiveness, build versatility, lockdown engage, CC, shields, you know, everything you kind of want in a jungler. Vi's the same thing. So those three, I guess, are your best well-rounded top tier picks if you're looking for straight wins with straight pressure. Now, we won't necessarily mention everyone in this video, but we do have Elise. She's on the front page because we did have those Runic Echoes buffs, and Elise is one of those champions, level 3 Runic Echoes and boots early, strong duelist, insane level 3 tower dives, insane level 3 ganks, good scuttle control at level 3. She has everything she needs to get a lead. She is a bit complicated, on the more complicated side, but don't be threatened by that. With a bit of time, you can get used to her. I do recommend her, however, for gold, plat, and above. She is most effective in diamond and above. But the fact that she has 6 skills, the fact that she has full damage, means if you can get a lead and you know how to use it, it's basically a free win. Just make sure you are closing out the game. Evelynn is our other AP jungler. She is an assassin. She never really goes away. She's always a top tier, well, basically the only AP assassin in the jungle, and she kind of flows with the meta in and out. As buffs and nerfs around her come into play, her effectiveness goes up and down also. At the moment, she is quite strong, even seeing some strong and active high elo play. I released a video on her in the previous one, which I will link in the top right if you are an Evelynn player looking to solo carry some victories. Again, not really a low elo pick. Yes, you can, but you know, if you're silver with 100 Evelynn games, you're kind of making my point. Her effectiveness does go up the more you know how to teamfight, make picks, and focus on pathing specifically. But Evelynn players rejoice, she's in a good spot. And speaking of good spots and never-ending presence, Sejuani, you all know my feelings on her. If you have good pathing, if you understand good ganking routes early, you have tank needs on your team, she fills the niche. Her win rate isn't that great, but even despite her nerfs, her power level is still very solid. She scales very well. She's a bit of a medium difficulty because of the skill shots, but she's not that difficult to pick up, hence the 2 spots. And her overall kit is why I've put her ahead of our next pick, which is Nunu. Yes, Nunu has the win rates, Sejuani has the pro play suitability. However, both are excellent solo queue tanks, probably the 2 best overall solo queue tanks in the game. Nunu, in my opinion, is significantly more fun, can be a bit more tricky to pick up given his snowball and stacking his E, synergizing with his ult. There are more interesting things to play with. He is a safe pick, he works from Challenger all the way down to Bronze. And then speaking of things that are good in low elo, Volibear. People are sleeping on him. His play rate is not that great, but you all know I play a lot of Volibear. He was the first champion I ever bought in League of Legends. We are getting our rework next year, but for now, his viability in the mid and low MMR, so let's say plat and below, his effectiveness does diminish in plat, but gold and below definitely very, very strong pick. They don't know how to kite you, they don't know how to avoid your early ganks. Your tankiness and survivability combined with your W bite is an excellent way to have all the ignorant people in your MMR bracket complain that he is OP and needs to be nerfed. If you have that in your game, you're playing him right. And now we have Kayn, and I don't put him in low MMR because his low MMR is not that effective. Camp sequencing, counter jungling, pathing well, getting his passive to stack. All of these things are a bit more nuanced for newer players to have picked up already. And the reason I put Diamond and above is a good elo bracket, not just Plat and Gold, is because Blue Kayn is still commonly seen and highly effective when you get ahead even remotely, or even when you just hit that blue level power spike, you get a few items, you are annihilating people very quickly, and when you know how to flank, you know how to go in and out, you know how to surprise people, work around vision control, an assassin like Kayn works in a strong way just like Evelynn, hence why both are seeing a lot of play in the higher tiers as well as the mid tiers. And of course, do not forget, you can go Rast should you ever run into that, Braum, Sejuani, Cho'Gath team comp, which is just a nightmare for Blue Kayn. My sleeper pick for you people in gold, for you people in plat, Warwick. So if you are looking to try hard, if you're looking to spam games, learn the Q through E mechanics, I will release a guide on him shortly, but nonetheless, he is an excellent pick for that range, and that's why I put gold before the bronze symbol, because in low elo, there are some better picks we'll look at on the next page. He does work very well in silver, but not as well in the other tiers in terms of his statistical performance. His peak elo at the moment is gold, followed by plat. I think people are sleeping on this, much like they're sleeping on Volibear. And for Udyr, it's the same kind of thing. They buffed his level 16, now you get that extra ability point to choose from. We're still seeing how that lands, but in elos where games go longer and they don't know how to close out games, his effectiveness with that level 16 point will be felt more. While he still does what he always did, we still have to have time to assess his place in the meta, but nonetheless his statistics, his win rate is still solid for that low elo into gold range. And now a quick summary of some low elo champions, let's say from silver and below all the way down to iron. And before I get into it, as you'll see Jarvan, Vi, and Volibear there, they are extremely effective in low elo, but they're very effective everywhere, so I've put them down. We're not going to talk about them again, but just note these are also excellent low elo picks. Combined with Rammus is at the top because no one knows how to kite him, no one knows how to stop him, they don't understand that he kills them just by existing, and that's a huge thing when people have no idea how they're dying. And the death recap then tells them that they die by flash, so your power is just innately hidden. Very good at rotational ganks, great at team fighting, you can pick off one enemy and tilt them into oblivion. He is the quintessential and most perfect spiky ball of low elo LP gains for you to use. And the reason Warwick isn't as recommended in this sort of MMR bracket is because you have Jax, who does what he does just a bit more effectively in the combat way and the split pushing way. He can be incredibly difficult to deal with for anyone who has no idea about what a 1-3-1 split push is, or how to, ward. So use Jax if you're looking for a bit more of an in-your-face fighter style rather than, crying on people by accident. And finally, I know everyone here is challengers, so we can have our high elo champion pick. Olaf is the most interesting one because as a Sejuani counter, because of his ultimate, as the fact that his early game is very strong, much like Elise, he does fall off very hard, but his early duel potential is extraordinary, and using early paths to invade, to gank, to get tower plates, to get towers and herald, is being used quite heavily at the top tier and Challenger Master and above, using that warrior build of course. And I know we all love Rengar. I used Rengar to get out of silver way back in season 4, but the reality is, he is very complicated to pull off correctly. You do need a team who understands it. You do need to understand how to play around your own team comp, as well as micromanage the champion as best you can. I know we memed a little bit in season 4, build 4 Doran's Blade and just smash a keyboard, thanks to Ryan Choi for the strategies. But the world is more nuanced now, and so Rengar is definitely most optimal in the higher tiers. You can probably pick him up in Diamond. I'm just saying, don't go in Silver and thinking you're gonna hard carry every game with Rengar. Maybe you can, but again, if you have 50% win rate in 100 games, you're kinda making the point. Mastering Taliyah is one of those difficult things that all junglers wish we could do, because if you could, you've got a stronger version of Elise and something that scales with almost a disgusting amount of damage. Essentially is AP Rengar if you stand on a stone. And if you stood on Legos at all, then you know what I'm talking about. Rek'Sai, after the recent round of nerfs, has basically shifted her back into a high MMR bracket only. The reduction of scaling and damage on her kit meant that the window for your success in a game was greatly reduced, and she's no longer a free win like she was a few months ago. Again, comes back down to early pressure getting fed. Otherwise, you become a useless void monster who really needs to see a dentist. Nidalee, same thing, don't need to talk about her. 6 abilities, skill shots, heavy early game focus. Great for challenger players where they know what early game actually is and how to finish on it, at least most of the time. And Kindred, the Scuttle changes did make a difference, let's not kid ourselves. but they're still the best marksman jungler. A lot of players are still getting to diamond using Kindred. They just have better effectiveness to people who have already mastered their kit. If you're willing to put in the time and the sacrifice to get good at them, understand how to track marks, set marks, and get yourself fed, your scaling and your damage is really disgusting and can be awesome against champions like Sejuani, melees who you can kite around and things like that. But as the classic saying goes, don't wait till tomorrow, begin today, because once mastered, you will have a champion where you can type the phrase, "I'm smurfing on these fools," and really mean it. And I hope it can give you a good overview of the current meta from a low to a high MMR perspective. If you're Platinum Gold, you really have a lot of choices available to you in terms of learning to get into Diamond and to excel within Diamond, or simply to climb through your respective tier. And a reminder, we are on a 3-week patch cycle, so this will last a little bit longer. And also on that note, that Riot is looking to keep champion balance quite minimal until the end of the season. I don't think they're looking to go through any drastic changes, so this might stay a decent framework for a good while to come. Keep an eye on the patch notes, as always. Keep an eye on win rates, look for the best item builds that might emerge, stop playing teamfight tactics, play this. Just kidding, come to my other channel for teamfight tactics coming very soon. Please like, share, and comment if you enjoyed. Don't forget to comment below your most played champion this season. Thank you very much for watching. Like, share, and comment for more Jungle and League of Legends videos coming very soon. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.